welcome back.
Good to be back.
All right, I've got to ask you about what's happening with the WNBA. Of course, you've probably been following the fact that I went with some teen athletes to the Storm Fever game. They wanted to watch Sophie Cunningham celebrate her defensive girls' sports. And let's just say that the girls were treated not so well by fans, by some players, and even by a co-owner of the team who decided to berate and curse at two 16-year-old girls until one of them cried. Is the WNBA just so liberal that this is an okay business model for them?
I cannot imagine going to an event and verbally going after trans protesters or trans kids that are backing up. So that whole frame of mind just blows me away.
Yeah.
And I don't really think there's any way to describe people other than that than nasty and borderline evil. Especially when the gist of their argument is, as a young girl, I don't want to go into a locker room and see a grown man erect in the shower.
Yeah.
When that became hateful, I put a tweet out the other day where I said, I cannot believe that this is a stand we have to take.
Yeah.
That we get called hateful and spiteful because we do not want our 13-year-old daughters to see grown men standing in a shower erect in their locker room. What place of societal degradation have we gotten to? I think that co-owners of a team like that, we should be saying their name and plastering it everywhere. This is insane. And looking at the backlash against Sophie Cunningham, for what?
Yeah.
For what?
She was booed incessantly in Seattle.
It's so insane. And when you go look at what she said, I would love to look at them and go, what did she say? She's hateful. She hates trans. Give me a line.
Yeah.
Tell me what she said. What did she say? And nothing. And they just all feed on a narrative. Nobody actually, it's like the same thing you see. Charlie Kirk was hateful. Have you ever seen one of his videos? No.
Yeah.
Okay, then what did he say? What did he say?
It's a mind virus. It's outrageous, but on the business sort of model of it, I mean, two of their golden geese are treated worse than anyone else. Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. And you know what? We paid, so, obviously we wanted the girls to be front row. I would say in total, $5,000 was spent for those girls to be front row at the game. And there was a few other tickets that were purchased up in the stands. And those tickets were so expensive, not because it's a Storm game, because the Indiana Fever were in town with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham.
Right.
And so the amount of money they bring in for the league only to be treated that way, and for people who are cheering them on to be treated that way, it's almost like I've never seen a business model where it's like trying so hard to fail. I mean, even the idea that you have these...
Well, it's like Target's advertising campaign.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like just extrapolate it over to the sports world.
Bud Light. Yeah, true.
Where you just go, you get a Michael Jordan and then you don't even put her on the posters because she's white. Like, who's the racist?
Yeah.
It is just mind-blowing. And then we're told, like, look at the juxtaposition of it too. We're told, oh, America's such a racist place. Every little boy, when I was a little boy, idolized Michael Jordan. Me and my sons were just watching Michael. Why? Because of what he did. No one gave a damn what he looked like.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, when we were that age, he made us want to be black too, right? I mean, and now you're looking at the modern day female Michael Jordan, and the focus is on her skin. It's just so reductive and just insane. Where what Caitlin Clark has done more for women's sports than any woman in the last 100 years. Maybe Babe Saharius, maybe a couple others.
Maybe Serena Williams.
Okay, Serena Williams is she's a monster. Yes, throw her in there. But like for basketball, there's no woman that's come close to what she's done. She's treated like a criminal. Every single one of those girls is going to make more money because she's involved. If I was Sophie Cunningham and her, I'd leave the WNBA and go make 4 times more playing overseas. Let them have what they want.
Yeah, and then this whole idea, they're taking a stand. They made a one-night exception to have political signs at the game, the no hate in Washington State signs, opposed to the initiative to protect girls' sports. And so they were handing them out as people came in. So that's a whole nother issue because it's probably against campaign finance laws. But, you know, you have these women who, if men played in their league, they wouldn't have a league.
No,
There wouldn't.
no.
I mean, the Storm, if they had a man on their team, they probably wouldn't have just lost their 7th game in a row, but women would be sitting on the bench. And if there was a man on the team, right. I mean, it just wouldn't happen. And so you're like cheering for the failure of your league and the ability of women to have their own thing because of the absence of men.
Here's another thing too. And this to me, like, I don't want to get too spiritual into this, but it's the evidence to me of the presence of evil. Meaning, what is the overall, and I don't know these numbers. My guess is it's probably similar, but what percentage of trans people make up the general population? Isn't it like 0.4% or something like that?
It's definitely more than it used to be. But yeah, I think it might be like 0.04% or something. Okay. It's very small.
Okay, so then wonder what is the percentage of like Down syndrome people?
I don't know. No idea.
It's probably higher than that, right? Are we redesigning educational systems to make sure that Down syndrome kids are cared? Like we're ripping culture apart and going against 3,000 years of human history for a fad that represents less than 0.1% of the population. Like what the insanity of all this is just, it's really hard. It's trans hate. And you go, no, I just don't want my daughter to see a guy's penis in the shower. This is not about hate.
I don't want them to lose a championship.
Right. Or how I would love to look all those people and go, okay, so here's the deal. There's 4 guys showering right now in your locker room. Let's send your 13-year-old girls in there to change. Oh, no. I guarantee you they'd all go, no, we don't want them to go in.
Right. And every single one of those women would complain if the Fever had a man on their team. Every single one of the Storm players would like sit out and protest.
Yeah, I don't even understand what the argument is. I literally don't understand. You know, when somebody makes a socialism argument, I understand what the argument is, right? Yeah. I mean, it's idiotic. It's historically illiterate. It's certainly economically illiterate, but I understand it. I can't make heads or tails. Okay, so what you're advocating for is the total destruction of your women's only league?
Yeah.
What you're advocating for is for girls to be forcibly exposed to grown men naked? That's not hate. I don't know what that is. Yeah. That seems to me to be an accelerator to pedophilia, but I don't understand where there's any hate in there.
No, the people who preach love and tolerance are always, every single time, the most hateful bigots there are.
Oh my gosh.
Every single time without fail. I mean, you're talking about cursing out and screaming at 16-year-old girls. 2 women tried to trip a 15-year-old girl for wearing one of these XXXY shirts. They were booing them loudly, grown adult women booing children. You just don't see the other side act like that. You don't. It is an absolute mental sickness that will destroy the WNBA if they allow it to continue to proliferate.
Or the other idea too, we're going to wage cultural war and hate 50% of the country because we don't agree what they think about 0.018% of the pot. Just what? It gets increasingly bizarre by the day where I don't even understand it anymore.
Yeah, it's outrageous. All right, let's do some watchdogging. So, a good way for everybody to save money if you're living in New York City, shop at one of the Mamdani's new city-run grocery stores.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Yeah. He said that the prices will be set at 30% below retail.
So I'll just tell everybody in New York how this works out. Those stores will be vacant. They will have nothing in them. Or they're going to impose taxes on the quote unquote wealthy. They're going to implode that city. And the reason why, and forgive me if we talked about this before, but just so everybody's armed with why this doesn't work. And I'm not assuming people don't understand why socialism doesn't work, but it's a very, very simple deal. Under capitalism, we've got a marketplace where naturally the person with the lowest cost to produce a good is incentivized to bring that good to market because that lowest cost gives them a competitive advantage, correct? So when you outsource that job to politicians and governments will, of course, make political decisions surrounding goods. What that what that means is the allocation of capital and the allocation of goods, in this case is groceries, is no longer made via who is the cheapest at providing this, who's the best at providing this, who can transport the goods the fastest, cheaper. It all becomes a political decision. And that has historically always led to massive shortages, famines, and death, right? Because you can't tinker with it. You can. There's a massive cost, and it always results in higher prices. And that's why I really think that the big undertone of this is not about fairness. It's not about, everything they say it is. I think it really is about ripping this country down from the inside, because I don't believe that most of the people, I believe the acolytes and the sycophants and the people that follow them believe this nonsense, but it's so stupid and so reductive and so clearly historically illiterate that I don't believe that there's any other reason to do this other than to rip the country down.
Yeah. And people are like, you act as if, they're inflating prices at the grocery stores and it's just greed or whatever it is. The city didn't go and find goods for less and say, we're not trying to make a profit. It's the goods cost the same. The city is coming in and it's using your money to make up the difference in price. So people are still paying the same price for groceries, but then the people who get those groceries, they just got a 30% discount from the government, from the taxpayers. It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like the income tax trickling down to lower people here in Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Where you look at them and go, okay, here's the deal. I got a great deal for you. Okay, your groceries are going to go down 30%, but you're going to keep 20% less of your paycheck in the form of taxes. So, shocker, overall, you're going to come out as a loser, but you're going to get those cheaper groceries. That's what's going to happen. You don't need to sit around to wait for the ending. That's the way it ends.
Yeah. Let's do a quick little kicker. Fauci. The Fauci diaries. I've been dying to talk to you about the Fauci diaries. And then his plead the fifth debacle in front of Congress, but not much came out of that. The diaries are insane. First of all, do you, as a grown man, keep a diary, Zach? It's okay if you do. I'm just wondering.
What do you think?
Yeah.
No.
With hearts and stickers and Zach loves, and it's like,
The only thing I have close to that is I've got a notebook where I've occasionally made notes to my kids in case something happened to me, that they could go back and read and things like that. But no, that's it. And it's really embarrassing as a grown man to read some of that stuff because you go, and it's like one of those deals where you get embarrassed for him. You're like, this guy really believes all of it. Like, he thinks he's that cool. Just what a legend in your own mind. I don't know if I've ever run into somebody that is that self-obsessed. It really is remarkable.
And it wasn't just during the pandemic. There were entries going back to 2013 where he was talking about, they won't let me go on the big shows because I'm stealing the CDC's thunder and because I'm so famous and wonderful. And so it's funny because then he gets in front of Congress and he gives his opening remarks and basically said, Senator Paul's only doing this to embarrass me. It's like, okay, well, what'd you do that's embarrassing? It's like, I'm embarrassed by your diary entries, sir, and you should be too.
Well, the other interesting thing about that is he's under immunity. I don't believe it's legal for him to sit there and take the fifth.
Yeah, and that's what Senator Josh Hawley said, which is technically true because you can only take the fifth if there's something you can say that would incriminate you. However, my thought process is that state charges are still relevant. And so if there were a state like DeSantis in Florida who wanted to use what he said in Congress to try to come up with the charges at the state level, my thought is that immunity from President Biden wouldn't mean anything for state charges.
And you've still got a bunch of people out there referring to this guy still as a hero.
Oh, yeah.
I think, and that's the part of this whole thing that has just broken my mind, where I'm looking at these people and going, hey guys, this is not a political issue. This guy worked under Trump and under Biden and under Obama. What we got lied to, and it looks as though we got lied to by a guy that's self-obsessed and was only into it for what he could get out of it. Yeah. Why is this a political issue? Yeah. It's the whole thing. I feel like I'm watching a show that I don't understand and I can't change the channel.
Yeah, and that's what Senator Fetterman said, is we need to get past this point of not believing people who disagree with us politically and then believing people who we agree with, no matter what, no matter how much evidence is presented to us. So, all right, Zach Abraham, good stuff. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.